Welcome back with you, the Shepherd. It's been a little bit since I've had my husband. I think it's been a couple Fridays that I haven't had him join me. And so we're having just a short discussion because there's not really a whole lot more for us to add on to that we have right now. Um, so there's just a couple points that I wanted him to point out was this trek from Jericho to Jerusalem. What was important about that?
Not much.
I know it's not much, but you can still discuss it or
I mean,
tell about it.
he's so when Joshua and the Israelites came into the Promised Land, they had to go. Like if you're looking at the Mediterranean over here, in Israel here, they had to go below and around through Bashan, and then into Jericho, which is the same thing that Jesus is. He's coming down from Mount Hermon in Bashan and then going towards Jericho.
Well, we've talked a bit about Mount Hermon. We've talked a little bit about Bashan, but just as a refresher,
just the geography, he's walking the same. Well, as he's approaching Jericho, he's walking the same places that Joshua and the Israelites did.
So, as a refresher, what is Bashan and Mount Hermon, real quick, as to what's significant about them?
Bashan's the place of the serpent. It's not a very good place to be.
Yeah, we've talked about it before, but if you haven't watched those videos, at least you have that background. Very very evil place. And then same thing, Mount Hermon. Again, lots of strongholds and bad stuff like place there. So, any other thoughts? To I know this one's short, not a whole lot of discussion to add on, but anything else before we close out this session?
No, not really. Just little things, but they aren't life changing.
Like, well, give one more little thing.
Um, it's the owner of the land that goes and gets the folks to work in the vineyard, but then he has his foreman do the payments.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, the head of the household was the father, but usually the head of the house, in order to get training for how to run the house and the land, the head of the house was the son.
Hmm. It was also interesting because I did make a note about this is that they went, even though the foreman's the one who was paying them, they did not grumble to the foreman. They went and found the farmer and complained to him.
Yeah, the foreman would be the son.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then Jesus has the many that are first will be last. He doesn't say that all that are first will be last. Mm-hmm. Just many.
He also said that in 19 as well.
Well, actually, he did the opposite. He said, in one of them, he said, many who are first will be last, many who are last will be first. And in the next parable, he flips it and says, many who are last will be first, and many that are first will be last.
Yeah, so in 19,
he bookends it.
In chapter 19, the end, that's where he says, but many who are first will be last, and many who are last will be first. And then in 20, it's, thus the last ones will be first, and the first last.
Yeah. Well, many.
Well, that was in 19. This one, he just says, thus the last ones will be first, and the first last.
But yeah, he flips them around.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah. All right. Well, I guess we'll just end this, and we will start in chapter 21, where we're definitely getting a lot closer to the time of his death and resurrection. So next week we will be talking about the triumphal entry and the events that followed.